Trump is to, as I've explained before, Americans, kind of like an abusive boyfriend or father or whatever.
You're my daddy. Way
that he's saying, come on, Cole. I was trying to keep it away from that territory for a moment. Of course, I heard it. Why did boyfriend or dad or both? What? But you get the point. Abusive friend, abusive person. He's abusive to the general American public. And this way where he's going, yeah, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to illegally permanently shut down programs that Democrats like. I'm going to fire people if they're Democrats from the federal bureaucracy. Insane. I'm going to target people based on their political ideology. The whole a president for all Americans, gross. I'm a president for just people who voted for me. And then the toxic way that he deals with those things is really harmful. Similarly, he's so toxic and confusing and disorienting in his dealings with Zelensky. And all it takes, apparently, every time for Trump to go from, all right, now I'm pissed off with Putin, now I'll actually draw a line in the sand and go full in the direction of supporting Ukraine. All it takes is some nice words, a phone call from Putin, and hey, let's meet in Budapest. And Trump flips again. So this clip I'm about to show you is wild, especially given that he just recently posted this. Do you remember? He just posted like, hey, I just learned about Russia-Ukraine. I just read up on it and I figured out, go Ukraine. Like he had this big vibe shift and I was like, woo! After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing in Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. So he just said that. And then he meets with Zelensky. He has a phone call with Putin. Putin goes, no, please, don't. Trump admits that Putin said, don't give him tomahawks. And then Trump says this.
I met with President Zelensky, as you know, today. And we had a very good meeting, very cordial meeting. In my opinion, they should stop the war immediately. You go by the battle line wherever it is. Otherwise, it's too complicated. You'll never be able to figure it out. You stop at the battle line, and both sides should go home, go to their families, stop the killing, and that should be it. Stop right now at the battle line. I told that to President Zelensky. I told it to President Putin. Thank you very much, everybody.
So now he's right back to the number one, both sidesism. He turned down Zelensky's request for certain types of military support after that meeting. Why'd you bring Zelensky all the way to Washington to go, no? That's just so ridiculous. And then he's saying, just freeze the battle lines, which was his suggestion way back when, before he learned about it, apparently. And why that sounds like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Why is that so dangerous? Because it's exactly what Putin's hoping for. Again, you've heard it so many times, which is keep everything he's taken through a murderous invasion, then get someone like Trump to come in and go, stop, but with no other security guarantees for Ukraine. And then that gives the Russian economy a chance to breathe because it's on the brink of some really tough things now because of pressure Ukraine's putting on through the strikes of oil refineries and because of global economic pressure. And there is a clock that's ticking. Putin did a lot of preparation to get a war chest of money to prepare for this invasion, thinking it wasn't going to last this long. That's running out. And that's why Putin's panicking. And in a moment like that, to then go, okay, wait, just pause. Let him keep everything he's taken through invasion and murder. And not saying anything about security guarantees. It would be a different suggestion if you're saying, and then Ukraine's going to essentially have NATO-like protections and Russia will never be able to invade again. But all that freezing the battle lines would do would be give Russia a chance to rest and prepare for further invasion. And that's what Trump won't contend with, despite just recently saying that he did understand it. So that's obviously really scary. What we want, of course, is peace, but lasting peace and the bloodshed to stop permanently, which Putin is desperately trying to trick Trump into, or Trump might be a willing partner in that, to do anything other than a deal that would actually commit to lasting peace and security guarantees. And Trump said, why he admitted this, I don't know, that after his call with Putin or that he asked Putin's permission essentially to give Ukraine more military support?
I did actually say, would you mind if I gave a couple of thousand Tomahawks to your opposition? I did say that to him. I said it just that way. He didn't like the idea. He really didn't like the idea. No, I said it that way. You have to be a little bit lighthearted sometimes, but no, he doesn't want Tomahawk is a vicious weapon. It's a vicious, offensive, incredibly destructive weapon. Nobody wants Tomahawk shot at him.
Typically ask you not to provide Tomahawks.
So
now, there's probably wise military experts who could weigh in on the broader implications of but from what I've learned in traveling to Ukraine and being obsessed with this issue for a while now, give it to them. Oh, but then Russia will. Yeah, they've been saying that forever, and they won't. And also, Ukraine has shown a dedication to using these, or using support and their strikes within Russia in a really strategic manner, like I just explained to you with the oil industry, to take shots at their ability to fund this conflict. Not just random strikes on whatever. Very specific strikes. And you'll hear, but Russia said that was the red line. Russia said, like, ever talking to Ukraine was the red line. They say everything's the red line. And for them to be able to pound with these long-range missiles, Ukraine every single day, and for Ukraine not to have the firepower to, in a more humane and strategic way, do offensive strikes against Russia seems absurd, especially when we are so close to a tipping point for Russia in failing to continue this invasion because of the funding of it running out. Zelensky responded to this.
The number of
while you watch, please do click the subscribe button. It is free.
You have. Yes, I can't share these details. I'm sorry, this is your internal questions. But I count on continuation of this dialogue.
In the beginning of the week, President Trump seemed open to giving Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. Then, after speaking to President Putin, he changed his tone. Do you think President Trump changed his tone about Tomahawk missiles after speaking with President Putin?
Yes.
I don't know really, because we didn't meet before this phone call. But for today, it's good again that he didn't say no. Yes, but I think that it's, what he understands, maybe understood after phone call. I don't know. I was not during phone call. So, but I knew about it, that Tomahawks. It's very sensitive for Russians. They afraid that United States can deliver Ukraine. I think that Putin afraid that United States will deliver us Tomahawks. And I think that he really afraid that we will use, and he knows what military goals, we know where they are, where the military goals of Russia, and he afraid that we can use it. And that's why we are where we are.
So, yeah, I'm just going to admit, it's based on being informed on the situation, but extremely quote unquote biased and like emotional about this issue. So I don't want to hear from Republic or MAGA folks who have been saying every single time Ukraine gets anything that's going to be World War III. And it isn't. Russia has no interest in that, but they're going to make those threats anyways. But maybe more wise experts could weigh in on the impact. But my goodness, it's just exhausting and heartbreaking to see the ability for Russia to go on the offense this whole time, and for Ukraine to not have the level of firepower necessary to really make a blow to Russia more significantly. And then one other thing that Trump had on his mind, you know how Thomas Massie is one of the Republicans leading the charge on getting the Epstein files released? Trump woke up in the middle of the night, or I think, let's see, demands, I don't know if this was the nighttime. I just imagined it. Oh, no, at nighttime. Yeah, at night. I don't know if it was the middle of the night, but posting about how third-rate Congressman Thomas Massie, a weak and pathetic rhino from the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, a place I love, and one big 6 times must be thrown out of office ASAP. So the guy that has led the charge on getting the Epstein files released, Trump wants thrown out of office ASAP. It must be just a coincidence.